Hello, my name is Dawn and welcome to my channel, The Ginger Cat Stitcher. This is a channel all about cross stitch. I like to share my finishes, and then I also like to make tutorials for other cross stitchers to make some fun things. So I apologize for being gone for such a long time, and thank you so much to everybody that has stuck with me. We've got quite a few changes going on here. My daughter and her husband got new jobs and moved from Texas to the East Coast, so that was a really big move for them. And I was helping my daughter get her house packed up and helping her move her two kitties across country. And then my husband and I have also decided to leave Texas and move to the East Coast. So we're in the process of going through 36 years worth of accumulated things and trying to cut the amount of stuff that we have down so that we can move. So, you know, the whole process of, fixing your house up, doing what you needed to do to get the house on the market, getting out to Pennsylvania where we're going to be moving, finding a house, all that kind of stuff. So we've been really kind of busy, but again, I wanted to say thank you for sticking with me through all of this. So I'm still going to continue to upload videos and tutorials and share my stitching progress with you. It's just probably going to be much more sporadic than I had been doing. So I have some finishes that I wanted to share with you. Okay, so up first is this little pillow. It's a Prairie Schooler design, and I finished this just before Easter. Finished it with a little heart there. So this was a real fun, quick little stitch. So I finished that. And then this pattern from Asbury's Echoes. I find my piece when I stitch my piece. And I believe it's called My Piece. Yes. So she has a shop here on Etsy. And I did this on Lugana, and it was my very first time stitching on it, and I loved it. I needed magnifying glass, but I really loved it. And I just love how teeny tiny everything is, and my favorite part is how teeny tiny this little lady came out. I got my finger there as for size. But anyways, I finished it in a thrift store frame, and I just love it. I think it came out great. And then the other thing that I finished is this adorable little kit. Found this at my local needlework store, the Golden Needle. And the whole thing came together as a kit. And the butterflies are buttons. And then the fabric and the lace. And I just really like how that combines with the cross stitch. And see, I have the information here. Get that out of the way. It came in this kit, and it is okay. So it's all in French, and they have a website. I will put it right here if you want to look that up. But I think it's sold in the US by the Bee Company, because this was in there as well. And I got this at my local needlework store. It's just called House Round Wreath. So show you that again, and it's just finished on the back with a piece of wool to cover the stitches. And then let's see, the other thing I wanted to share with you is my new apron for my angel. So this is the March. I haven't gotten April's done yet. This was really fun. I decided to put it on bee fabric. So this one I cut the stitch out and put it on cloth. The last one I did, I just made her whole apron out of the Aida. I'm not sure which way I like it best, but the biggest change that I made to her is these were the wings that were on her. So I knew there was something about her that I didn't quite like. So I took those wings off and I scaled it down a little bit and made them a little smaller. And I used a neutral fabric, and I put it on that foam, the fusible foam. and that stuff is so much fun to play with. So here she is. I think she looks nice with her new set of wings. And then there's her March apron, and she is a pattern from Heart to Hand Designs. And here's all the apron patterns. So it's Heart to Hand Designs for her. So we got her as an update. And then let's see, so then the next stitch that I finished is a freebie. It's called Bitty Blossoms, and it's From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy, and it's free, so I'll just show you. So, and I altered it a little bit. I left some things out and changed some things, but I put it into this box, and I did it on the blue Aida, and I created this embroidery hoop box. And I think that it looks really cute in there. And I've had a lot of questions about the box, so I have made up some, and they are in my Etsy store. It's the gingercatstitcher.etsy.com. And of course it doesn't have the needlework in it, but it's all set up for you to finish your own piece of needlework in there. And I'll include some instructions on how to mount your stitching into the box. Fun finish. And again, if you would like to have a little hoop box for your own, just hop on over to my Etsy store. And then the thing that I am super proud and super excited to share with you is my very first cross stitch pattern that I designed. I was just driving in the car one day and just kind of started thinking and came up with this idea of making a needle book out of 2 embroidery hoops. I guess I had that embroidery hoop box on my mind. But anyways, I was thinking, oh, you can make a little book by attaching 2 hoops together. And so then one thing led to another, and I made it. And then I also designed my very first cross stitch pattern. So this is what I'm really excited about. So it is a needle book, and we have this enchanting mermaid holding her needle and thread. And then on the other side, it says pins. And then it has these 2 sweet mermaids holding a tomato pin cushion. So this is 2 embroidery hoops attached with a zipper. And I'll show you, it just unzips. And then opens like a book. And then I've stuck some needles in there and some pins in there. You could also, just thought of this morning, not stuff it quite so full, just do a light amount of stuffing in there, and it can be, you know, kind of a little secret treasure box to hide some very special sewing notions in. But anyway, so this is my little needle book that I made, and a friend suggested that I offer this as a kit. So in my Etsy shop, you'll find, you can buy the paper pattern and just stitch these cute little mermaids however you want. Or if you want, I'm offering a limited supply of little mini kits. I'll give you the Aida. This is Wetlands by Atomic Ranch, 16 count Aida. So you can purchase the pattern, the Aida. I'll hand stain the embroidery hoops for you, give you this ribbon, the seam binding, and then also I'll include the velvet for the inside of the needle book. So like I said, I have a couple limited quantities of the needle book full kits, and then I also have I know a lot of you don't like to stitch on Aida, you prefer the linen. So if you'd rather purchase the pattern and then you know, the embroidery hoops and the velvet and the zipper and everything without the Aida, I have that option in there as well. So that is it for my stitching. I have been busy creating other things for my Etsy shop. So if you're not interested in an Etsy shop update, I want to thank you so much for joining me and for sticking with me. And I'll see you again in the near future for another either stitching update or a tutorial. And if you're interested in seeing the items that I've just put up for sale in my shop, stay tuned. All right, so I've made some new mug designs, and I think this one is probably one of my favorites. Stitchy friends are best. So if you have a friend who has a birthday coming up, or maybe for Mother's Day, this would make a great gift. You could put maybe a rolled up piece of linen or Aida cloth in here, and maybe some pretty floss or a gift card to your needlework shop. That would make a great little gift. And then I also came up with a Cross Stitch Society mug where we drink tea, pet cats, and stitch all day. So I have that one as well. And then a coffee and cross stitch with just a real pretty coffee and cross stitch scene. And there's some other designs in there too, if you'd like to take a look at those. And then I've had so much fun behind the sewing machine. And I've created some notions bags. And these are just little bags that you can put your floss and your scissors and all your tiny little smalls in there. So I've got several designs that are up in my shop. This one is my favorite. Of course, it has a cat, and this one has Teresa Koga, I think it is, fabric. And cute little mouse. And they all come with some sort of trim on the zipper and a little charm. And then they're fully lined. And then this is the last one. So I've been working behind the sewing machine, making some notions bags. And then finally, I have been working on some needle minders. So I've done some simple crochet ones. They're a fabric covered button with hand crochet. I have assorted colors. And let's see, we'll just show this one as well. Oh, magnet. These magnets are super strong, which is a good thing. So I've got, those are a little bit more on the prim side, and then I have some fancy bougie ones. And let's see. So this one we have a sparkly cupcake. And then we have several different colors of butterflies and bees, and then also just some pretty flowers. So I have the embroidery hoop boxes up for sale in there, and I have my very first pattern as well as the kit to make the needle book, the needle minders, the notions pouches, the coffee mugs. I've been busy. So again, if you want to head on over to my store and check it out, I'd be deeply grateful. It's thegingercatstitcher.etsy.com. And that's all I have for you today. I guess short and sweet. So I promise not to be gone so long next time. And again, thank you so much for watching. And I wish you all a very wonderful week full of lots of stitching. Thanks. I'll see you next time. Bye.